afternoon, readers. Good afternoon, readers. I welcome you all here for this particular session at VLF. The only thing that we learn from history is we do not learn from history. And the problem is that after that, we keep asking various questions to ourselves, including a population of 1 billion plus, and we have so little to show at the Olympics. Now, when we do not learn anything from the history, we have a person who has done his MA in history from the Kolkata University. He's also a Rhodes Scholar. Right? There are very few Rhodes Scholars from India, and he has a distinguished company of Girish Karnar and very few others who are also the Rhodes Scholars from India. He got his B.Phil on social history of Indian cricket from University of Oxford, and he has written many books. I mean, if I just have to tell you the number of books he has written, we will be completely out of time. And that's the reason that just a few books that he wrote are Corridors of Uncertainty, World Cup 2007 and Beyond, A History of Indian Sports through 100 Artifacts, and many more also. So when the god of Indian cricket, Sachin Tendulkar, contemplated writing his autobiography, he had one person in his mind. Right? So when he wrote his autobiography, Playing It My Way, he wanted this distinguished author, a historian, to be a part of it as a co-author. To keep his commitment, he has given up a commercial assignment today, and he is here with us this afternoon. So, readers, join me in welcoming a distinguished sports journalist, academician, author, a Rhodes Scholar on dreams of billion India's Olympic Games. So, please welcome Boria Majumdar. I'm honored to have you, sir, here.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
Stage is completely yours.
Okay. You know, the session is on my new book, Dreams of a Billion, India and the Olympic Games. Now, this is an interesting one. Every 4 years, this country wakes up to an Olympic Games, and we ask the question that our moderator just mentioned, that why is it that a country of 1 billion plus people win 2 medals? And the moment the Olympic Games are over, you forget about it. 4 years later, you will wake up again, and you will ask the same question. Why is it that a country of 1 billion win 2 or 3 medals? Now, goodness gracious me, as Abhinav Bindra keeps saying, an Olympic Games doesn't happen every 4 years, it happens every day. It happens every minute, it happens every second. Do you actually think about it? Do you think about that? Do you actually think that an Olympic Games is also the precursor or the forerunner to the Paralympic Games? Do you even take the Paralympics seriously? Do you talk about that? And is it all about medals? My first question to my audience here, all of you readers, is an Olympic Games all about winning medals? Is it about just going there, standing on top of the podium? Of course it is. But there is a far bigger story. When Sir Dorab Tata funded the first 3 Indian athletes to go to the Olympic Games in the 1920s, in fact in 1923, it was interestingly at the Deccan Gymkhana. And he goes and asks this farmer, do you know how much time it takes to run a 100-meter dash? And the fellow says, maybe 1.5 minutes. And he's like, clearly your sense of Olympics is known to me, it takes about 12-13 seconds. Now that chap going into the Olympics, do you think he'll win a medal? No, it doesn't matter. When, ladies and gentlemen, a Puerto Rico marches in an Olympic opening ceremony, a Puerto Rico is not a country. It is an American principality. But when they march with Puerto Rico on their chest, it is that marker of national identity. Today, the United Nations has less number of members than the number of countries that participate in an Olympic Games. That for me is significant. When you take the Olympic torch, you might have a Coca-Cola or a Samsung or whatever as part of that torch, but that flame which travels the world, travels to this country to the other, and people from across the world travel with that flame, that cannot be commercialized. That is the symbol of universal peace and brotherhood and harmony. That is also the Olympic ritual. In an Olympic food hall, a Roger Federer will stand next to a Duty Chand and have lunch without being a Roger Federer or a Rafael Nadal. That is is also an Olympic Games. That's what we need to celebrate, rather than only asking this hackneyed question. Ask, absolutely ask. But when you ask, go down and try and understand what the problem is, rather than only saying, oh, you know what, India wins 2 medals out of whatever, and so why should we bother? And the other thing is, don't blame cricket. Do not blame cricket. Cricket has achieved what it has because cricket has successfully commercialized and marketed the game. I do both. I do cricket, I've covered multiple cricket World Cups, and I've covered multiple Olympic Games. So when I see, that is why when the Indian Olympic Association appoints a Sachin Tendulkar for Rio or a Saurav Ganguly for Tokyo as goodwill ambassador, I welcome it. Don't say, why not an Olympic person? You needed a Priyanka Chopra to also contribute to the Mary Kom legacy. That's no disrespect to Mary Kom. She was a legend and will be one. But if you use Bollywood to further reach out to an X number of people who are extra and increase that constituency, I don't see that as a problem.
You have just said we cannot blame cricket for anything, isn't it? And as Uday Shankar, also the chairman of the Star and the president of this Asia, he had also said that cricket has virtually become more important than Bollywood now. When it comes to attracting the audience to the TV monitor and even otherwise, even to the stadiums as well. We cannot really blame cricket. And very interestingly, as a historian, you have pointed out that cricket really started becoming popular in India after Wadekar's victory outside India. That was the first time but nobody in India watched television then, or they did not see these players in action. But the welcome that Ajit Wadekar's team got in India was amazing. And cut back to 1983, and when Kapil Dev went on to win the World Cup in Lord's. That was the time when people actually watched heroes playing over there. And things did change a lot with respect to that. And it's also that we have a kind of a system to develop cricket in India. So we have Ranji Trophy, we have Lip Trophy, and now we have IPL also. That's the reason that we have a pipeline of players available even under 19 as well, or whatever we say. We have a large number of players. So the way we have developed cricket, can this model be replicated in the other games, the way we are doing it in badminton to a certain extent? So how will that help India in realizing the dream, Olympic dream?
See, it's a very longish question, but it's a very short answer. In cricket we have a structure, in other sports we don't. In other sports what we have is individual effort. You gave the example of badminton. It is Pullela Gopichand and his factory. Factory not in a pejorative sense. It is Pullela Gopichand's individual efforts. In Hyderabad, you will have a Jwala Gupta, you will have somebody else with one badminton academy. In cricket, it is a structure. You will have a Shashank Manohar and a Prakash Dixit and a Anand Jaiswal in Nagpur doing a VCA stadium. It's a top stadium that you have in Nagpur. You will have that same stadium in Kolkata, you will have a same stadium in Chennai, you will have multiple cricket associations which create this hierarchy of a structure. There's an age group cricket, as we speak, that's what I was watching. I think there are about 2 million people watching Hotstar at the moment? Yes, 1.7 million people watching Hotstar, the under-19 World Cup final that is going on. India down 1 wicket, by the way. So the first wicket's down. So that kind of infectious passion that I see for cricket, if you have to have a structure for other sport, it can be done. I don't see that. And I'll give you one example. When Abhinav actually won the 2008 Beijing gold, and I wanted to work on India's Olympic history, I remember going to the Indian Olympic Association and saying, please can I have a photograph of India's only individual gold medal winner? And I was told, go to the Shooting Federation. I said, what do you mean? You are the IOA. You are the Indian Olympic Association. India has one gold medal winner. He said, so what? Shooting Federation jaiye. So I went to the Shooting Federation. The Shooting Federation said, IOA ke paas jaiye. I said, ye ho kya hai? So the point is, Abhinav Bindra became Abhinav Bindra because his father was able to give him a shooting range in his house. There is no structure. Is there a lack of money? No. 2016 Rio Olympic Games, if you go and read the Bindra Committee report, which was commissioned after Rio, you will see there is enough and more money. And if somebody tells me from this audience that India doesn't have money, nonsense. Think of Jamaica. Think of the example of Jamaica. Go to inner city Jamaica and see the poverty, the crime, the economic problems, and on the other hand, you have a Usain Bolt, a Nestor Carter, a Michael Frater, a Johan Blake, and the list goes on. It is not about money. It is about accountability. In Rio, there was a shoot, I don't want to name her and disgrace her here, but the money that was allocated to her from the top scheme was about 2 crore rupees. She was supposed to give the name of her coach. She gave 2 names, okay? One was a fictitious name. So where did the money go? We don't know. It is about accountability. You go and ask the UGC today. Think of the American system, think of the Canadian system. Where are your athletes coming from? The educational realm. In India, go to the UGC and ask, do you have money? They'll tell you, by the way, it's my personal example. I was part of multiple UGC committees and I was speaking to the chairman and I said, so do you have money? He said, how much money are you talking about? I was like taken aback, somebody asking how much money. I said, no, if one wants to do some sports stuff. He said, about 6 to 800 crores. 6 to 800 crores is what UGC has now, today, in fact more, to contribute to sport. Where have you seen education and sport integrated in Indian universities, you tell me? Show me one university here which has a proper swimming pool. Show me one university here which has a fitness center. Show me one university which has a proper science, sports science, nutrition, physiotherapy, etc., rehab center. You don't. That is what I mean by structure. It is not about facilities or money, it is about accountability and having proper structures.
That's what a historian along with the academician and a Rhodes scholar really brings to forefront. That's a wonderful observation. So, how is the role of coaches? Like, let's say for example, Gopi sir. I mean, the way he has, you mentioned it as a factor in a very right sense. So many medals coming up from that. I mean, half of the medals that India has won across the world are by one single person, P.V. Sindhu. So how has the role and the amount of commitment that he has?
Glad you asked. By the way, yesterday, Gopi has been recognized by the International Olympic Committee as, all of you read that, right, in today's papers. Now, he is an absolute rock star, Gopi Chan. How many of you have seen Gopi recently? Even on television? Quite a few of you? Okay. He's lost about 10 kilos. 10. Ahead of Rio, Gopi had lost 12 kilos. You know why? He went home to his wife Lakshmi and said, this was in January of 2016, about 8 months before Rio. Now this is Gopi talking. He said in his house, it is all about Vishnu and Gayatri, his two children, son and daughter. Both of who are also badminton players. Gayatri is now sub-junior national #1, and I am predicting 2024 a medal from her. That's set aside. I can't write about her yet because I've promised Gopi to put pressure. Having said that, he goes home and he tells me, look, it was always about Gayatri and Vishnu. I went to Lakshmi and I said, for the next 8 months, it is about me, as in Gopi. He says, the food has to be according to my taste, my choice, my control, because me falling ill or feeling unwell means Sindhu loses the medal. I can't afford it. Okay? Now that's similar to the picture for me. Now, I've got to tell you the story. 2015, Gopi and Sindhu traveled to Australia for the Australian Open. Sindhu loses first round. And if you know Sindhu well, she's a happy-go-lucky. I mean, come on, she's 24 now. She was what, 20 then? Bubbly, lovely girl. So Gopi calls Sindhu and says, please go party. And Sindhu is like, Gopis are telling me to party after I've lost first round, has he gone mad? And Gopi is like, yes, please go party. And Sindhu, okay, her brother is in Australia, so she has a good time, she parties for a couple of days. And as they were on the flight back to India, Gopi calls Sindhu and says, tomorrow morning, 4 a.m., you and your father in the academy. Okay? So Sindhu says, you know, Boria, I enter the academy, so if you go to Gopi's academy, Gopi's room is on the first floor, it's a 10 by 10 room, and sort of has glass in front so that you can look ahead at the courts. There are 8 courts. Gopi is sitting there in that academy and he has this piece of paper in front of him which has about 10 points. And one of the first point read, no biryani. Sindhu loves her biryani. No biryani from then to the Olympics. Number 2, no ice cream. Number 3, no mobile phone. And Sindhu is like, you know, I read it and I was like, okay, yeah, he's joking. So he says, if you agree, only then will we continue, otherwise we are not continuing. And Sindhu says, okay. So he says, good. So they go and train. The moment the training session is done, Gopi says, mobile phone. And Sindhu is like, what? He says, the phone. So Sindhu gives the phone, thinking that he's actually joking, he'll give it back. She says, and he puts it in his bag and he walks off. She says, sir, I went home and I'm this 20-year-old who's addicted to WhatsApp and my mobile phone, my internet, and for the next 9 months I don't have a phone. This chap has actually taken my phone and walked away. Now that's Gopi. You go and ask Gopi, why did you do it? He says, I wanted the medal. Now that's Gopi. The other thing, at that point in time, if you watched Sindhu in 2015 and Sindhu in 2016, it's marked difference, one difference. The 8 courts there. One day, Gopi calls Sindhu and says, only you and me in that academy. So she walks Sindhu to the middle of the academy and says, stand here. And Gopi stands in the other corner. And he says to Sindhu, shout. And she's like, what? He says, shout. She tells me that, Gopi is very soft-spoken, extremely nice, compassionate, lovely guy. And all of a sudden he says, shout, 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 shout. And she collapses, literally collapses. If I start talking to you like that, she collapses and starts howling and says, what are you doing to me? And Gopi says, that's what I want to see on court tomorrow. And she's like, what? Exactly, that's what I want you to do against your opponents starting tomorrow. You have a difference in do. That's why coaches are important.
That's the importance of the coaches that we have while building up the athletes. And again, coming back to Boria, he is the first journalist who had an entry into Gopi's academy. And not many sports journalists tried to go over there, but he was the first to realize what is the potential that the academy has, and he was the first sports journalist to be there. So
yeah, but that's no credit, because all of us at that point in time, Olympic sport wasn't Olympic sport. Between 2004 and 2007, hardly anyone went. In my case also, I can't say I was the first and hold the flag up. It was just by chance. I wanted to document the Indian story. Maybe if I was not working on the history of India's Olympic encounter, I also wouldn't have gone. But the real story is not that. The real story is what was going on there. Now here's one man who had actually mortgaged his house. 3 crore rupees by mortgaging his house. Think of this. 2000, and this is again Gopi talking. He said, I won the All England. Now All England is the Wimbledon of badminton. He'd won the All England. He'd got 50 lakh rupees from a beverage company. I can name here, there's no media, Pepsi. And he turned down that advert. 50 lakh rupees in 2001 too is significant amount of money. He turned down that advert. And he said, I wanted to build the academy. So every second day, every second month, I would go to a corporate. First, they would take photographs. Then they would ask for autographs. Then they would do the usual. I'm a celeb. I'm an All England champion. Then he said, you know what, Boria, after about a month, when I was going and saying, give me money, they said, go get ATG. Go get X clearance. Go get tax exemption. I did all that. After that, they stopped taking my phones. Then they stopped meeting me. Then they stopped even looking at me. Then he said, all my ego that I was an All England champion and a celeb was gone, was completely gone. I thought, what am I doing? At that point in time, my mother was diagnosed with cancer, stage 2 cancer. He had 2 children, one aged 1 and one aged 2. So this is what his background was at that point in time in 2003-04. To mortgage his house for 3 crore rupees and do the academy, Gopi Chand is a rock star.
We can come back a little to the cricket, because when we develop cricket, today what we see is that we have got a huge pace battery to go by. They are competing for the place in the Indian team continuously. At the same time, they also get a fair amount of relaxation as well. But when India realized that they do not have the kind of coaches, or maybe they do not have the kind of potential to treat them, we had an MRF-based foundation coming up, and which really helped India come up with that. And similar efforts were put in by Gopi Chand also. He also hired foreign people to ensure that they get good diet. Also, the other backup staff at Meta. So, any comments on that? Because he spent huge amount of money on that as well.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, as long as you need talent, you can import talent from anywhere, because you have to have a sustainable professional structure. I don't see that as a problem. What I do see as a problem now is your IPL teams. You mean to say a Craig McMillan has to be a fielding coach of Kings 11 Hyderabad and you don't have one in India? Why? Why do you need international commentators coming? Tell me, how many Indian commentators go and commentate for the Big Bash? How many? So why is it that we have to have all Goras coming and commentating for the IPL? Why? What's the deal? Why do we have international coaches coming and coaching all these IPL teams? You mean to say we don't have enough 10 coaches in the Indian system to go and coach these 10 IPL teams, 8 IPL teams, 8 fielding coaches, 8 bowling coaches? Because the moment you are empowering these Indians, they can go to the great system, they can go to the Ranji Trophy, they can go to the under-19s, they can go to the National Cricket Academy. That's your structure. That's your structure. So the Indian Premier League has to be converted Indian. Our broadcasters, from our broadcasters to the BCCI, to the state associations, the moment you are able to utilize the Indian Premier League in a particular manner, it will reach out, the benefits will percolate downwards to the very basic and very fundamentals of sport. More importantly, why can't a Jhulan Goswami become the bowling coach of the KKR? Jhulan has the brand. Jhulan is 300 plus wickets in international cricket. You mean to say her expertise is any less than a C grade or a B grade Australian or Sri Lankan? Nonsense. Or are we, even today, will we continue to be sexist? Can a Mitali Raj be a batting coach for Hyderabad? No. Why? Secondly, we're talking about the Women's World Cup coming up, right? All of us are talking about the Women's World Cup led by Harmanpreet Kaur, etc. Now tell me something. Do you call the Virat Kohli cricket team the men's cricket team? Why is it that you call the Mitali Raj, Harmanpreet Kaur team led the women's cricket team? Why? They're the Indian team. From today, this gathering, for once, let's agree that it is the Indian cricket team and not the women's cricket team.
Precisely, because just day before yesterday, the underpay said that if Indian tennis has to have a future, they have to have coaches like Gopichan and Rahul Dravid. He's not mentioning anything about the celebrity coaches from Europe or United States, even for tennis as well. And he himself is a product of that, Vijayani Amrita Tennis Foundation.
He himself should come into coaching. Lee is giving up on tennis this year. Somebody who started in 1990 winning the Junior Wimbledon in 1990 as a 17-year-old, and since then winning the number of championships that he has, 30 years of experience. And Lee, 1996 with almost a broken hand going and winning the Olympic bronze in Atlanta, is an absolute champion, the underpace. He should come and do coaching. You need your role models like a Leander and a Mahesh and a Somdev and a Sanya. Sanya is already doing it with her academy in Hyderabad. It's one of the best in the country. If these people come back and give it back to sport, that's what it is all about. That is why Abhinav has made a difference. Abhinav, by doing the Target High Performance Center across the country, the Chandigarh Center is free. Every elite high-performance Indian athlete can use the Chandigarh Center for free. He's now done it in in Bangalore with the Prakash Padukone Dravid Center. He's done it in New Delhi with Fortis Hospital, and he's wanting to spread it across the country. He's moved to Orissa also. That's where difference is made. These people need to come to coaching and invest in the grassroots.
Exactly. I mean, I still remember when Harbhajan Singh had some problems, Sunil Gavaskar had suggested that it should be Bishan Singh Bedi who helps him out, and not somebody from outside.
Yeah, but before 7 p.m., post 7 p.m., Bishan Singh really low.
Just mentioning about Abhinav Bindra. That's absolutely.
Bishan Paji loves me, so I can take it.
Yeah, just about Abhinav Bindra. It was incidentally at Nagpur that you noticed Abhinav Bindra has a problem. A medical condition. He never told it to anybody for not getting sympathy or anything. But you noticed that here in Nagpur itself, and then subsequently you had a conversation with him. So would you like to throw some light on that?
Yeah. You know, it was a YPO event here in Nagpur in 2015, 1 year before you. So Abhinav and I were sitting exactly like Ashutosh and I at the moment, and in fact, no, we were downstairs. So we had not even come up on the stage yet. Excuse me. Our session was 10 or 15 minutes after that, and they were doing these announcements. Some felicitation was going on, and all of a sudden, I see Abhinav's hand shaking like this. And I'm not making this up. His hand was shaking like this. So if somebody is sitting next to you in the next chair, and his hand is shaking like this, automatically your gaze will go there. So mine went as well. And I'm like, 1 year to Rio, our best medal hope, shooter, where the hand has to be still, right? Absolutely still. His hand is shaking like this, what's going on? The session happened, but the session was a breeze. I mean, neither Abhinav nor I was focused. So we were just both went through the motions. The moment the session was over and he said to me, I know you want to talk about it. I said, of course I want to talk about it. He said, come to the room. And it was then that you put me up, Radisson. So I go up to his room, and the first thing he says is, you can't talk about this in public. You can't write about it. You're a friend of mine. You've got to keep this a secret. And I'm like, okay. And he says, I have epilepsy. And I'm like, what? He says, I've been mediating it and moderating it and taking medication and controlling it. That is why I said in 2014 I want to turn myself into a hobby shooter. If you see after the Commonwealth Games, I said I will not shoot because that is when I was diagnosed. I am able to almost control it now. I don't know if I will be able to pull it off, but I will give it my best shot. You're not going to write about it, you're not going to talk about it till the time Rio gets over. I kept my promise. The deal is, the question to me was, it was a great story. Wearing my journalistic hat, it was big breaking news. Should I go ahead and do it? Wearing my sports analyst hat, an Indian sports fanatic hat, I was not supposed to do it. As Abhinav's friend, I was not supposed to do it. I compromised on a story and I'll forever be proud of it. I actually will put the I'm telling you a great story. This is my favorite. So Abhinav, some of you heard me know it. So, what is the difference between win and loss? And you must know this. So Abhinav had just about lost the tie-break in Rio. It was actually heartbreaking. So he had lost the tie-break in Rio. His career was over. He retired, right? He had retired, so I went to him and said, soon after, I said, so what now? He said, I'll give my gun to my nephew to shoot balloons. And that's Abhinav. That's typical Abhinav. He's weird. So we were having dinner in front of the Olympic Village, and I said, can you explain to me how much you lost by? And I had a colleague with me from India Today, the owners of India Today, Kali Puri, she was with me. And Abhinav tells Kali, can you take out a strand of hair? One strand of hair. One. Take out one strand of hair. And she was like, what? And he tells me, go stand there, about 10 meters. And tells me that when Kali actually took out that one strand of hair, and he's telling me I'm 10 meters away, can you see the tip of that hair? And I'm like, no. He says, I lost by 1/3 of that. Now that's the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between an Olympic medal and not winning an Olympic medal. So when we say India doesn't win, he was fourth. You want to celebrate him? Yes, you should.
Amazing stories, obviously. And now we come back to the basic question that how we are going to have the medal hopes even in Tokyo as well. We have some of these players like Leander Pace, PV Sandhu, Saina Nehwal, Sakshi Malik, Sushil Kumar, Rajavardhan Rathore. To a certain extent, they inherited sports, some way or the other, either within their family or maybe their parents were outstanding athletes of their time. And on the other hand, we have Mary Kom, Abhinav Bindra, Gagan Narang, who did not have that kind of a background. But at least in case of Abhinav and Gagan Narang, they had a family support to go by. But whereas Mary Kom's story is quite different. And if you throw a line on Mary Kom's story, that was an amazing story.
Even Sakshi Malik, she had no background. I mean, Sakshi Malik took to wrestling, it was about 1 hour. 1 hour after her Rio medal, and she had come to the main press center of the Olympic Games and did an interview with me. And I asked Sakshi, so, and she said, sir, मैंने जब wrestling शुरू किया था, तो आप जानते हो, सब बोलते थे कि लड़के के साथ खेल रहा है, इसका शादी नहीं होगा, ये क्या कर रही है, ये क्यों कर रही है, ये सब. सर मैंने किया था क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि अगर मैं अच्छा खेल जाऊं तो एरोप्लेन में घूमने का मौका मिलेगा. सो उस पर चढ़ना था, पैसा तो था नहीं, तो उस पर चढ़ना था एरोप्लेन में, इसीलिए तो मैंने शुरू कर दिया था. ओलंपिक मेडल जीत गया, बताइए. सो दैट्स साक्षी मलिक. कमिंग टू मैरी, Mary is an incredible story. Mary is unbelievable. I mean, Mary, her first ever boxing competition, I keep telling the story to my daughter, she had to walk close to a couple of miles, more than a couple of miles, and her father was very against Mary boxing. So she goes and wins the competition, Mary being Mary. And next morning, her father sees in the newspaper, the local newspaper, a photograph of this young girl who he recognizes as his daughter, but it has a different name. So he's like, who is this? It's you. And she says to him, yes, it's me. Now her name is Chunne. It's not Mary. So when the organizers of that competition asked her, what's your name? And she was scared of her father because she knew she'd get a thrashing the next day. When her father saw it, she said her name was Mary Kom. That's how her name became Mary Kom, and thank goodness for that. But the other Mary Kom story. I called her 1 month before the London Olympics to do an interview to build her up. And she was pretty brusque on the phone and said, call me 1 hour later. I was like, what happened? Because the interview had been set up. I called her 1 hour later and I said, is something wrong? And she said to me, नहीं, इतना दिन बाद घर आया था, आज भाई नहीं आई है, सो इसीलिए बर्तन धो रहे थे, उसके बाद लड़कों के लिए पराठा बनाना था मुझे, उसके बाद उनको स्कूल भेजना था, इसीलिए आपको बोला 1 घंटा बाद फोन करो. This is what India is all about. She wins the London Olympics medal. I go to interview her and I said, Mary, finally the medal, and she tells me, sir, rice cooker. I said, what? She said, sir, Emirates वाले राइस कुकर लाने दिया था, इसीलिए ना वो देखिए ना मैं स्टिकी राइस बना के हर दिन मैं अपना चावल जो मणिपुरी स्टिकी राइस है वो बना के मैं खा रही थी, सो इसीलिए ओलंपिक में जीत गया. सो एमिरेट्स वाले को थैंक यू बोलना है. I mean, where will you get this simplicity? I mean,
being an academician, a researcher, adjunct faculty member, professor, all these things have really brought in multidisciplinary things in Boria. Now, he had an opportunity to interview one of the greatest players ever, or athletes ever, Pele. And Pele also gave a lot of insights on developing the champions. So your views on that and your interaction with him.
That's a question which I generally don't get. So interesting, very good. But before that, a different anecdote concerning Pele. And then I'll come obviously answer the Pele question. Now Sachin and I, we were both in Rio, okay? And today he played that bushfire game, so let's celebrate the guy. So Sachin was the goodwill ambassador for the Indian contingent in Rio. Now why am I telling this story? There is a Pele connection, don't worry. So Sachin and I were in Rio together, and he, at that point in time, he had an operation. So this leg was under cast. So one morning, the morning after he had reached, I went to his hotel and I said, every day whenever you travel, you eat breakfast in a 5-star hotel because you get mobbed. Here in Brazil, you have the opportunity of just coming out and walking in, just walking out. Come to the beach, let's go to the beach, let's go to a shack and just sit down there and have breakfast. I said, very good idea, let's go. So both of us went there. Now the problem is the local beach shop owner doesn't understand anything but Brazilian or Portuguese. Now neither of us spoke the language, and whatever he would put meat. Now neither Sachin nor I wanted meat. So we wanted simple omelette sandwich. So he's like, yeah, how do we explain? We wanted omelette sandwich and coconut water. That's what we wanted. So there was this Brazilian guy sitting next to us, and he said, try and see if he can interpret for us and explain, because I heard him speak in English. So by this time, there were about 5-6 Indians who were going from there and who had come to Brazil to watch the Olympics. They saw Sachin there, came and started clicking photos with Sachin. So this Brazilian chap I went up to and I said, please can you interpret the omelette sandwich for us, because we really want it. So he said, yes, and he was very sweet. So he said, who is this guy? And I'm like, why? He's saying, why is it that all these guys suddenly stopped and came and started taking photos with him? And I'm like, where are you from? So he says, why? I said, no, tell me. He says, I'm from Brazil. I'm local. I'm from Rio. I said, you know Pele? He says, yes, of course I know Pele. I said, this guy is too Pele. I absolutely am not kidding. Believe me, I said, he's too Pele. So this chap was blown away. He's like, who is this joker saying too Pele? So he went and explained to the shop owner our omelette sandwich problem was sorted and all that. Now after we finished that breakfast, I suddenly see this chap has his wife, children, everybody lined up. I said, what have you done? He said, too Pele, I didn't buy photo. So that's the too Pele story. But coming to your question on Pele, amazing guy. I was interviewing Pele in Calcutta. And trust me, I'm fairly used to doing it. I know my job. I've been doing it for 25 years. And I said, last question. And all of a sudden, this man stands up and says, I won't do this interview. and I had a shock. I mean, if you stand up in the middle of a live show and as rudely as he said, and it's Pele for God's sake, it's going live on television on India Today, and I'm like, what have I done? And I'm actually shocked, and I looked at him and said, yeah, but sir, what have I done? And he said, why did you say last question? I said, what do you mean? I mean, yes, have I taken extra time? He said, you should say last question of this interview. You mean to say you don't want to interview me again? And I'm like, wow, yes. I mean, it was unbelievable. Then he made us, I can show you the photograph. We took a football. He said, of course I'll sign this football with you, but you've got to do something with me. So we were sitting like this, we put a football between our heads, and he said, let's stand up with it. If you go to Google, search me with Pele, you get that photo. And the two of us stood up together with the football between our heads, and that's a photograph I'll forever keep. Great memories.
Again, about billion plus population waiting for medal in Olympics. We have tried to institutionalize this also through Indian Army as well. And we had Rajavardhan Rathod and then subsequently others as well. But then somehow that did not work well. There have been many external factors which contributed to that, but it did not work. So can we still look back and look at institutionalizing sports for going to getting the medals? See, it is to a degree institutionalized. I mean, what do you understand by institutions? I understand institutions in the very simple terms of organizations, and here I understand public-private working in synergy. Simple. And that is what is happening in India now. By the way, the army training facility in Mao, which trained Jeetu Rai and some of the others, is an extraordinarily good facility. So let's give the army the credit that they deserve. Having said that, I'm making a prediction. Hold me to it. I am making this prediction at the Vidarbha Literary Festival that India will win. By the way, how many Paralympic medals did you win in Rio? 4. Right? I'm making this prediction that India in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo will win 15 medals. Hold me to it. If we do not win, that for me is a revolution. 15 medals at the Paralympic Games, aap jaoge. So you will be there, you will see for yourself. I am predicting 15, I have predicted conservatively. Conservatively, I have predicted 15. If it is not more than 15, I don't understand Olympic sports. Please watch, India will win more than 15 medals at the Paralympic Games in Rio. Olympics? Look, Olympics, it's all about handling pressure on that day, even if you are world number 1. So it is extremely difficult to predict an Olympic medal count. But if we are to say that, taking a few caveats, that you will not have a meltdown, you will perform to potential, you will perform to the standard that you have over the last couple of years, the consistency that you brought to the table, India will win anywhere between 7 and 10 medals, which is a 400% jump compared to Rio, which I think is extraordinarily good. I'll break it down for you. I'm expecting 4 in shooting, 3 to 4 in shooting. I'm expecting 1 or 2 in wrestling, 1 in women, 1 in men. I'm expecting 1 for sure in badminton, either from Sindhu or from Satvik and Chirag. I'm expecting 1 in boxing. On a good day, on a good whatever, India stands to get anywhere between 9 and 10. If it's a bad Olympics, it will be about 7, which is still 7 or 8, which is still a 400% jump compared to Rio. That is just prediction. Very important point that you have brought up is that whether you are number 1 or world number 1 or no, what matters is how do you perform on that particular day. And at that particular moment also, you also have an opportunity of interviewing people like Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and they are also champion. And every time during the presentation, what we are saying is that they thank their team, they thank the opponent team also, though it's predominantly individual game how they perform. So how much the role this backup staff will be having in India's chances of winning medals at Olympics?
Massive, massive. 2016 Olympics, Apurvi Chandela, one of our best medal hopes, who will also be leading the charge in Tokyo. 2016 Olympics, the previous night, an Indian contingent was checking into Apurvi Chandela's building at Rio in the same room, same building. She was not able to sleep till 4:30 a.m. of her match, of her competition. Somebody who's not even rested, you expect that person to go and shoot and win a medal for you? Now that is the role of the support staff. That is the role of your team. That is the role of your backup. the Indian officials, if for a second they stop hogging the limelight and just going on junkets and enjoying Rio and do their job in Tokyo, why did I have got to say this? It has become far more systematic and far more professionalized now. It will have a major impact. Roger Federer, absolute legend. I've interviewed Fed, Nadal and Novak. Novak at about 1:30 a.m. at night at the Boria Hotel started admiring M.F. Hussein's painting and started asking me questions on spirituality. And Roger, in the middle of the conversation, by the way, he and Sachin are very close friends, so I had to give him a copy of Playing It My Way. And he had just had his third kid, and I had had our first. And I said, so do you change nappies in the middle of the night? And the whole interview became about fatherhood and changing nappies in the middle of the night. Much to the agony of my producer, but I loved it.
You have a distinguished style of writing. How much your experience at Rhodes, as a Rhodes scholar, influenced it?
Honestly and very candidly, I was not a good writer. My wife is the much better writer between the two. She was my severest critic, and I owe a lot of my writing to her. So that's the truth. Rhodes? No. I mean, exams and Rhodes and all of this, I can box it for you. I learned how to give exams. I'm the best exam giver in the world, I can tell you that. Because I can break it down. I'm very good at all this. So I'll structure it in a manner, but writing style, etc., it has evolved over time. And it is also about confidence. And it is also about wanting to understand and trying to understand what my audience wants to consume. For example, this audience so far has not touched their mobile phone. As long as they haven't, I've not lost you. The moment you start fiddling with your mobile phones and doing TikTok, I've lost you and I keep shut.
That's amazing. There are so many things to talk to you about, but we have many questions from the audience as well. So let's start off from the audience with the leader's question. Yeah, we'll start from here.
Hello there, it has been fantastic so far interacting with you. You rightly said that coaches play a pivotal role. Where do you see the role of sports psychologist in this scenario, in handling pressures, in preventing melting down and all these things? Do you see an important role of sports psychologists as well?
Fantastic question, Kami. Too, India had Limba Ram going into the Olympics as one of the favorites in the 70-meter archery. Limba Ram was in extraordinarily good form, and I'll keep answers short so that we can take maximum questions in the next 5 before our next session. So Limba Ram goes to the Olympics as one of the favorites to win a medal and then loses first round. So when people went up to him and said, Chaliye, so he said, Kya hua? So he said, aap haar gaye. He said, dobara kar do, jeet jaunga. So he like, dobara kar do? He said, haan, ek baar haar gaya, aap kya hua? He had no conception that for him the Olympic Games was over. Post that, he had a meltdown. That's one side. Abhinav Bindra, go to Abhinav Bindra and ask, why was he in depression post winning the Beijing gold? He's saying, I was chasing that gold for 50 years. Now all of a sudden my life had no mission. I've done it. It was all hollow. Everything had been achieved. That gold medal was in my house. What was I doing? I had woken up. Clear? So tomorrow you become the Prime Minister of the country, or you achieve whatever you want to achieve, and then what? So both sides. Sports psychology is absolutely essential. Prithvi Shaw is incredibly talented. Does he have it here? I doubt it. So these guys at the age of 20, 21, by the way, don't take the Prithvi Shaw example literally. I'm just giving it as these people at 19, 20, and Yashasvi Jaiswal selling Pani Puri is making to a World Cup final. And he'll get all the riches. The moment he comes back, an IPL team will give him 5 crore rupees. Anybody will go into your head. How do you control that? Phases of depression. Man, sport is the only thing. Today, take the case of tennis, you can go and lose 6-0, 6-0, right? And you've lost it in public. You've been humiliated in public. Now, it is the only thing where you go back. When I fail in academia, I brood alone, personally, mourn alone. In sport, with your psychologist, with your teammate, with your coach, with your support staff, you recuperate, you come back, and you win in public. That's the beauty of sport.
Thank you so much.
1889, and it's in the blood of bombs basically, and now leading the I-League also, and now selling off 80% of the stake to ATK, and it will be called as ATK Mohun Bagan. So the question is it good for Kolkata football, Indian football, or is East Bengal also in the same line?
Good. I'm a born Mohun Bagan supporter who has watched every possible Mohun Bagan match since I was 3 or 4 years old. I've written about it. Mohun Bagan had no option. They would not be able to run the club. That's the grim reality. If you have to be a sustainable sporting institution, you need infusion of corporate funding. In India, what is the future of football? It is the ISL. How much money is required to have a proper ISL team? 35 to 40 crores a year, including a 15 to 20 crore fee that you need to pay to the organizers to play the competition. Did Mohun Bagan have that kind of money? Did Srinjoy or Tutubam, who used to run Mohun Bagan, have that kind of money without Sanjeev Goenka's help? The answer is no. So as far as Indian football is concerned, ATK Mohun Bagan will keep the Mohun Bagan brand alive. The fandom will come to ISL. It will create more people watching the game. Temporarily you might feel let down like I do. I have 2 requests for them. One, don't change the green and maroon. Let the green and maroon be there. Don't change the club symbol. Do what you want. Keep the fan loyalty alive. Keep the fan engagement alive. And I understand commercial and monetary compulsions to merge the two. East Bengal has to go the same way. Without the same kind of money, when they see Mohun Bagan playing ISL, when they see other clubs, Bengaluru FC, etc. playing ISL, and you are being relegated to the I-League which will not have broadcast also, your fans will move away and be let down. So the only way forward even for an East Bengal will be to merge with some of the other teams, and that's a certainty. If they don't, the club will face serious monetary and other kind of consequences.
Good afternoon, sir. So there was news in the newspapers about shooting being excluded from the Commonwealth Games. So how do you think this affects athletes who work so hard?
You will have it passed. According to the latest debate in the British House of Commons, the competition will be hosted by India in India, and the medals will be added to the Commonwealth Games tally. This can soon become a norm for multidisciplinary events around the world. If one country can't host one particular event, it can lease it out to another country. This can soon become the norm, so it's not getting excluded.
Grown up watching your interviews and reading your stuff. I just read a few months ago 11 gods and a billion Indians. Yeah, so I love the detail you put in. But I wanted to ask, who are your favorite sports writers across different sports?
Sure. Analytically, it has to be C.L.R. James, because the whole ethos that I've grown up with, trying to intellectualize and understand through the prism of sport the nature of a country, James does that best in the case of the Caribbean. And C.L.R. James, when I read it as a school student, did not understand it. I've read it 47 times till date. I did a conference on Beyond the Boundary in 2013 on the occasion of its 50th anniversary. So C.L.R. will forever remain an inspiration. Interestingly, how many of you are budding authors? How many of you are authors? By the way, C.L.R., when he first wrote the manuscript in 1957, for 6 years he did not get a publisher. Today it's 45 million copies sold. Okay, James is the best sports writer. Rohit's problem, he lives away in Singapore, he's not at the scene of action. So if I could combine a Rohit Brijnath with my journalistic intensity and maybe a C.L.R. James intellectual and analytical insight, I would be able to produce a Sachin Tendulkar in my realm.
Sir, there are many consultancy companies who are predicting that performance of a country is based on economic development. They are also predicting the number of medals that particular country likely to win in the upcoming event. So how do you see that correlation?
Sir, I took Colombo to write the bid for the Commonwealth Games of 2018, which was eventually hosted by Gold Coast. At that point in time, Hambantota was one of the bidders, and they offered me $100,000 to write that bid over a one and a half year period. And once that offer had come to me, I thought $100,000 was a decent amount of money, a lot of money, and I was about to commit to it. Then 3 weeks later, I get an offer from a consultancy company from London, which said, can you do this bid? Can you write this document for us? Because we've been recommended your name, and I figured out they've been paid $5 million to do that. That is the role of the consultancy companies, sir. So let's not, their expertise in understanding a country's ground reality and make these predictions, take it with loads of salt.
We just cannot take any question, but Mr. Boria Majumdar will be available outside, so we can take a few questions outside as well. We can speak to him. So Many thanks for making it convenient, even at the cost of commercial assignments.
Oh yeah, don't mention it. Only thing is make India win today. We can't lose to Bangladesh because Bangladesh is, I mean, the moment Bangladesh wins, they are the worst fans to lose to. Just you know, I come back to the Vinama Lecture Festival. Love you all. It's been great coming back. Thank you.
By far, on behalf of VLF, we would like to gift you with a book and a token of our appreciation for spending some time with us. Holder of quality stationery products. The gift kit also contains a book titled Ajay by Dr. Lokendra Singh, who is our author. So we would also like to present you with a painting made by Miss Mrunal Deohe. We wish to acknowledge and thank our esteemed sponsors and support partners: Health Play Charitable Trust, SMS Envo Care Limited, Western Coalfields Limited, Manganese Ore, India Limited, Kingsway Hospital.